I lied to you about selling my 2023 Tesla Model Y, or not really selling, but transferring my lease over to somebody else. Once I bought this car early 2 years ago almost now, I made a video probably a couple months later saying it was time for this car to go. I found somebody who would transfer the lease and I'm gonna let it go. Since then, it's been almost 2 years now, it's probably about 21 months now. And yes, I still have this car and I've had it the entire time, so let me explain. As of filming this video right now, this car has 23,135 miles, so yes, I put a lot of miles on it as of keeping it. So if you don't remember, I sold this car for my 2021 Range Rover. I basically owned that car outright and I sold it to Carvana, showed that whole experience, got cash for that car, and then I bought this Tesla, or I leased this Tesla. Now, one of the main reasons I leased this car is because it was such a good deal, especially at the time. If you don't know, with Teslas now, the tax credit is gone, which was $7,500 basically off the price of the car. That is now gone, so Teslas are a little bit more expensive, but back then, this was about $1,500 down, and the total was gonna be, before any upgrades or anything, like $399 a month. My out the door for everything on this car is $509 a month. That is a total lease. Now, I did the lease option that is, you cannot buy the car after the lease is up. You have to trade it in. You cannot purchase it, you can't do anything. It's basically turning the car back into the dealer when you're done. So 2 years, 10,000 miles a year, which I know I'm already over on that. And you turn the car in at the end of the lease, and that's it. That was the deal. And it was a pretty solid deal, so I decided to do it. Now, if you remember, I started making a few videos on things I didn't like about the Tesla, which there wasn't many. I actually really liked it. And I started to share kind of my experiences. One of the cool things that came out of that was actually I referred a lot of you guys to buy Teslas, and I actually would like to look up what the total amount that I have referred is. I don't see it on the app, but I think at one point I had referred like 13 people to either buy or lease a Tesla Model Y, 3, X, any of them, which blows my mind that I referred that many people to get it, because I genuinely think it is a good car. With referring people to Tesla, you get credits. And I remember, so somebody got a Tesla Model Y, I got 7,500 credits. I can go here and kind of see how many emails I got. Matthew, John, Alexandri, Michael, Joan. So there's 5 to 6 people that I referred until they got rid of the refer program. They basically took those away. And with those referrals, I was getting 7,500 credits. I was getting 7,500 and 10,000 credits. I was getting a lot of credits, and those credits actually added up to me able to buy different things. And the things that I ended up buying were like charging miles, or you could get the premium connectivity, which gives you like the YouTube apps and the Netflix and all that. So you could get all of those with the credits. And so I essentially bought a bunch of charging credits that I didn't have to pay to charge this Tesla for the first like 15,000 miles, maybe 10,000 miles. I never paid for supercharging. They were free because of that. So thank you guys again for referring to that and using my code for it. They since added a new referral system. Let me see exactly what it was. I referred somebody June 29th, Ivy, shout out Bo and Ivy from Nashville. And I don't even see what they gave me for that referral. You get referral benefits, which is $250 in Tesla credits to your account. So $250 in Tesla credits instead of like the point system of credits. So I don't exactly know what it accounts to the difference, but it's definitely less, because I think a lot of people were referring because so many people were getting Teslas, and they had to shell out too much money. Back on track. I got the Tesla, I made a bunch of videos on it, and then I made a video saying that I was getting rid of the Tesla, that I had potentially found somebody to lease this car, take over my lease, and kind of move on from it because of certain reasons. Those reasons being, I lived in Nashville and I was commuting back and forth from Atlanta, and the charging was getting a little bit difficult because the charging distance was the exact length of the drive, and so I would get to Atlanta with 0 or 10 miles. Yes, I could stop along the way and charge, but it was like a 20-30 minutes to get to a certain charge, and for me at the time with those long distance drives, having a gasoline car just made more sense. And so that was my plan. I looked a little bit more into my lease, and since my lease was one that was a turn back in, it wasn't through Tesla, it was through Santander Bank USA. They don't have a way to transfer the lease, and the only way to kind of basically do it was to like buy out my lease. In reality, there was no real way to transfer my lease to somebody else. And so I could make it work with the person because I trusted them that they would just pay me the payments and drive the car and get insurance on the car. But ultimately, it just didn't work out because of the way that the lease was set up. And then the mileage restrictions, they wanted more miles. And so essentially what I did was, at first, I left the car in Nashville and I let my friend Wade drive it for like 6 months. He was thinking about getting this car, but I was like, hey, you can drive this car. Basically, I'm gonna have it for free for 6 months because we had moved from Nashville. We're back in Atlanta now. We moved from Nashville and I no longer needed, I had too many cars. I didn't need it. And so I was like, here, you can drive it for a couple months and let me know. He racked up some miles on it, nothing too crazy. And then I got the car back from him and I was in predicament because we had 3 cars, and so we owned Sophie's car outright, her Audi Q5, and then we had this, and I had a Ranger, whatever I had. And ultimately, I ended up letting Sophie take over as this is her main car. We sold her car, told you in a previous video, her Audi Q5. We sold that to her mom. She just bought it from us. And then Sophie drove this car, and at first, she hated it. She did not want anything to do with it. She hated the charging, she hated the regenerative braking. She literally hated the car and was mad at me for making her drive it. Once she got to driving it and getting used to the regenerative braking, realizing she didn't have to use the brakes, and realizing she didn't have to go to a gas station, she kind of fell in love. So here we are in the inside of the car. It doesn't look that bad. It's pretty dirty. She doesn't wash her car a lot. I try to help him wash, but it just gets super dirty, and so whatever. But she's got all her stuff in here. It's funny now because the lease is now going to be up in, I think the lease ends in February, March. We have like 3 months left on the lease, and she can't decide if she wants another Tesla. Going from hating it at first, now she likes not having to get gas. Where she works, there's a Tesla supercharger, so she can go to work, plug in, and just let it charge, and she doesn't have to worry about it. She actually did fall in love with the car, and so I want to talk about our experience with the car since we've gotten it back after going through the whole, like, I'm gonna sell it and get rid of it or get rid of the lease. I want to give my thoughts on it because I think Tesla's a great car, and we may get another one after this lease is up. Let's run down some of the things that are good about it. One, there's zero maintenance. We've had the car almost 2 years now. It's never been to a Tesla dealer. Knock on this wood here. Never been to a Tesla dealer. The only problem we had is at first with Sophie not understanding the charging and when it would run out of battery. She literally ran out of charge on the car, which I never did, but she ran out of charge on the car, and she ran out of charge at a Tesla dealership. The Tesla dealership didn't have any superchargers for her to charge her car. She started just coasting there because she knew that that was the only way she was going to get to a charger fast enough. They didn't have a charger. They had this long charger that was charging like 3 miles a minute. And then finally, after an hour of sitting there, the Tesla person let her go into the actual dealership and charge it up so she can get 20 miles to go to a charger. It was really weird how they didn't have anywhere to charge there. I don't know what was happening. But other than that, zero maintenance. The car, as I said, Sophie doesn't really take good care of it. She just drives it. She doesn't care about cars or anything. It smells new still. The interior still looks new. Whenever I get in this car, I can't believe it. It is in amazing shape, and I'm so surprised. And so we've kept it. 22,000 miles in 2 years on it. We're gonna have a little bit of a mileage overage because, again, like I said, we have to turn the car in at the end of the lease. And so here's what is the future of this car. So we have to turn it in February. Now, I don't know if they're gonna try to give us a lease offer on a new car because I don't know how that would work. I mean, I would love to be able to like trade this in and not have to pay tax on a new car. But Sophie is basically in control because it's obviously her car. She wants to drive my Range Rover for a little bit until we figure it out. I'm gonna give her the option to get what she wants, but the new Tesla lease options are getting a little bit better. She doesn't need this taller one, like the Model Y. She could do a Model 3, so I was offering to get a Model 3, and her and I can just share the Range Rover and the Model 3 because it's like $299 a month with $1,500 down plus tax and everything. And you get for another lease for 2-3 years. That's an option. So we have a lot of potential, but Sophie's totally open to this because she likes not having to go to the gas station. She hates getting gas, and charging is so much easier. And if we do get another Tesla, I'm gonna install a supercharger at our house because we own this house now rather than the last one we were renting that I didn't want to pay for a supercharger install. But I'm surprised with the Tesla, and I definitely recommend it. You can use my referral code down below if you want to. I cannot believe how many people signed up under my code. It was almost like 6 to 10 people maybe, which I cannot believe you guys made a decision of like a $20, $30, $40,000 per $50,000 purchase based off of my recommendation. So thank you guys for that. Definitely check that out down below, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like on this video, and I'll see you in the next one.